From the world-renowned Binion's Horseshoe in Las Vegas, Nevada, where the action never stops, it's the 19th Annual World Series of Poker. We're inside Binion's Horseshoe Hotel and Casino here in downtown Las Vegas for the 19th Annual World Series of Poker. Over 500 people have jammed into the poker area to watch the finest poker players in the world battle it out. Hi again, everybody. I'm Chris Marlowe, and we welcome you to the most intriguing event of this year. 4 days ago, 167 of the best poker players in the world paid $10,000 apiece in order to compete in this event. And when it's all over, the winner is going to walk away with $700,000 in cash and a gold bracelet identifying him as the #1 poker player in the world. The action has been fast and furious. We are now down to our last 5 players. The winner will be the man with all the chips. The game begins with the antes, which are preliminary bets made by each player before any cards are dealt. The dealer gives each player 2 hole cards face down. Players have the option to either bet, check, or fold. The dealer then places 3 cards face up in the center of the table, which can be used in common by all players. These cards are known as the flop. The players have the option to bet or fold. Then the dealer turns over the 4th card, 4th Street, followed by another round of betting. The dealer then turns over the 5th and final card, 5th Street. There's a final round of betting, and the player with the best 5 cards is declared the winner. Some truly unforgettable characters show up for this annual gathering. T.J. Cloutier, a former professional football player. Humberto Brenes, a Costa Rican businessman who's one of a growing number of foreign players to enter this tournament. Johnny Chan, the defending champ, whose nickname the Oriental Express accurately describes his relentlessly aggressive style of play. Ron Graham from Tacoma, Washington, who finds himself among the golden circle of money winners for the first time after many years of failed attempts. And Eric Seidel, a 28-year-old New Yorker, who is the youngest and least known player at the table. Let's get right to the action. Eric Seidel folds right away. Ron Graham ponders and then also folds. Humberto Brenes goes all in, and Johnny Chan folds. It appears to be a bet of $50,000. Humberto Brenes has 6-9, obviously bluffing. T.J. Cloutier calls with ace-queen. Pretty good hand. So Brenes taking a big chance here. Ace-queen, 6-9. And now, here comes the flop. A 4, a 6, and a 9, which gives Humberto 2 pairs. Does he have a 6th sense? And now another 9 on 4th Street. Brenes now has a full house. 5th Street gives TJ queens, but too little too late. TJ very aggressive, but now he really needs to make some aggressive moves if he is to survive. The other players now know he is desperate. With me now, perhaps the greatest card player of all time, a 3-time winner of this event, Johnny Moss. And Johnny, this tournament certainly has grown from a long time ago.
Sure has. I've been playing it about 19 years. This is the first time I've ever been out of the money.
Who do you like in this one, and why?
I like Johnny Chan, but he don't look like he's got much chances. But anybody he can still win it.
All right, Johnny Moss is our guest. One of the greatest of all time, a 3-time world champ. No one has ever done that. Okay, we're ready for the next deal. Cards go out. Ron Graham in first position. He folds, as does Humberto. Johnny Chan drops also. TJ bets. Is he bluffing to steal the antes in the blinds? That's what Eric Seidel thinks. He's calling, and he raises $120,000 more. Now TJ has a tough call. Cloutier has an ace and a 10, Seidel a pair of 5s. And TJ Cloutier is going all in, $140,000 more, for a total of $190,000. There's more than $600,000 in the pot. The winner can take the lead. TJ turns an ace-10, Eric with the pair of 5s. You can feel the tension building. building. The flop, 5, 8, 9, gives Eric's trips. No help for TJ's ace. A 3 on 4th Street. He needs a miracle. 5th Street. A king of spades. That's it for TJ Cloutier. The former pro football player takes a walk. A nice accomplishment, $63,000, but now it's young Eric Seidel. He wins the pot and now takes the lead. Would you believe it?
We'll be right back with more action from the World Series of Poker right after these messages. With me is Eric Drake, the tournament coordinator of the World Series. And Eric, so far the action a little slow.
Yes, right now there's only one person, Eric Seidel, who appears to be gambling. Everybody else seems to be waiting for a hand. And at this particular structure where everyone's anteing $2,000 and there's a $5,000 and $10,000 blind, it'll cost a person about $120,000 an hour not to play a hand. So I think they're going to change their strategy very shortly.
This kind of play, who does that favor in the group?
Well, temporarily it favors Eric Seidel, he's a first-time starter. He has moved all in maybe 7 or 8 times in the last 15 hands, and he's won every one of those pots. So he's probably stolen. I say stolen because I don't know if he has a hand or not. He's probably stolen $200,000 so far.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Who is this young man who has taken the World Series by storm? Until that infamous Black Monday in October of 1987 when the stock market took a giant tumble, Eric traded options on the American Stock Exchange. As a result of the crash, he became one of a legion of financial district professionals who joined the ranks of the unemployed. Eric refocused his time and energies on games he plays best, backgammon and poker. His newfound free time and a growing realization that he played poker almost as well as he does backgammon motivated him to try bigger games.
I learned to play poker in Vegas. I went out there for a little backgammon tournament, and I started playing in the smallest game they had there. I think it was a 1-2 or a 1-3 game. And essentially, you could win or lose maybe $30 or $50 at most. I started playing, I guess, about 2.5 months ago again. And just at first very cautiously because I just wanted to test the waters and see how I played. After a couple of months of playing, I felt very, very good. I felt like I was competitive.
Eric Seidel has done very well. One of 4 remaining players, he is guaranteed at least $77,000. Not bad for 4 days' work.
It's my pleasure to be joined by John Jenkins, but he's perhaps known better to the poker fans around the world as Austin Squatty. And John, I have to ask you, how did you get that nickname?
Well, it's not that dramatic. I sit on my feet at the table like an Indian, and they gradually started calling me Squatty. It's a comfortable position to play poker in. It just doesn't look comfortable.
Now, as one of the world's great poker players, give us your assessment of this game. You played in this tournament, were knocked out relatively early. It's very difficult to get to the Final Four where we are right now.
Well, despite all the skill that you can have, you also have to have good fortune. The players that are here, however, have played with the peak of their skills. They are all at the peak of their prowess. Eric Seidel is a newcomer, but we expect to see him over and over again at the final table.
Perhaps we could move in just a little closer, and you could do a little play-by-play for us on this upcoming hand. 4 players now.
Yes, we're getting closer to the time when the antes are going to go up, and that's going to force a lot of faster play. Right now, everybody's got enough chips to handle this $5,000 and $10,000 blind and ante structure. When it goes to $10,000 and $20,000, where every round you're putting in $100,000 just in antes, they're going to have to play faster. But we're still at the last of the level where there can be some maneuvering.
In your opinion, who would be the favorite right now? Obviously, Seidel has most of the chips, but the other 3 players are pretty solid.
Yes, I'd say the odds-on favorite would be the defending champion. I personally would place Ron Graham. I would think it would get down head-up between Chan and Graham, but we're at the point where luck's going to have a piece of it now. We've got to move in here. Now we'll see what we've got. We've got Umberto and Eric. 2 aces and 2 deuces. So Eric is a 4.5 to 1 favorite. They both have a diamond, Umberto can make 3 deuces to win, or a straight, a low straight, or a spade flush. It comes 2 diamonds and a king. It looks like the aces are still good. Must have a deuce. He's 20-1 underdog at this point.
That's it for Brenes.
That's it for Umberto.
A tremendous hand.
Now you have a match that is dead even because young Eric has got a commanding lead in chips, and that'll offset the lack of experience. However, I haven't seen in the last hour many mistakes in experience.
Well, Seidel has come up repeatedly with the big hand, the big card over and over.
Well, I wish him good luck. It's going to be quite a battle when they come back at the higher blinds.
Stay with us. We'll have more poker action from Binion's Horseshoe right after these messages. $167 players started out. Now we're down to 3. Eric Seidel, Johnny Chan, and Ron Graham. Let's find out who's going to win.
All right, ready for more poker action as the cards go out. Eric Seidel takes a close look at his hole cards and doesn't like what he sees. He folds. Ron Graham also being very cautious. He'd like to stick around for a while if he can. He calls. Now, Johnny Chan has the option to raise if he wants, but he doesn't. There's the flop. Chan has a pair of queens. Graham, a 4-card straight. Everybody checks. Now 4 street, a 7 of clubs. Remember, you're looking at the hole cards of both players. Queen 3 for Chan, Jack 9 for Graham. Graham makes a small bet, about $4,000. It's called by Chan. 5th street, coming up. The 6 of spades. Still no help to either player. Johnny Chan checks and Ron Graham checks. Johnny turns over a queen tray. Ron has Jack 9s. Queens win the pot for Johnny Chan. And he'll happily accept all pots, small and large. And the applause of the crowd. The players are now jockeying for position. They're eager to eliminate the next player. Second place pays $280,000, double the third place prize. Johnny Chan folds and Eric checks. But here comes Ron Graham. He goes all in. Now remember, you're looking at the hole cards of the 2 players. Graham 10-4. Bluffing. Eric Seidel ace-jack, a good hand. Seidel calls, aggressive as ever. So now, Graham and Seidel. Graham looks a little worried, and he should be with a 10-4. And now the flop, ace, deuce, 3. Eric Seidel has a pair of aces. Ron Graham has a 4-card straight. He needs a 5. An 8 on 4th street does not help him. And now he needs a 5, and he does not get it. Eric Seidel has won the hand. And Ron Graham is out. Much to the delight of Mrs. Seidel. A good battle put up by Ron Graham, but he just could not draw the 5. Oddsmakers thought he would finish no less than 2nd place in this group. But still, 3rd place worth $140,000.
Poker history is in the making. We'll have more from Binion's Horseshoe right after these messages. Chris Marlowe back at the World Series of Poker. Now we are down to the final 2. At stake, $700,000 first prize. Let's see what's happening.
Here's one for the history books. An unknown youngster has made it all the way to a heads-up match with the defending champion. A look at the hole cards. Eric Seidel, a pair of 9s. Johnny Chan, a pair of 8s. Interesting hand. Johnny Chan moves in and bets about $90,000. Seidel Eric Seidel will call and raise. No, he's going all in on a pair of nines. Perhaps he thinks Chan is bluffing or vice versa. They both have very low pairs to be going all in, and Johnny says, let's get it on. So Chan and Seidel both all in. At stake, $1,200,000, the biggest pot in World Series history. And now the flop. Seidel with nines, Chan with eights. Here we go. A 5, a 6, and a jack. 2 spades. Johnny Chan has 3 spades, but no help pairwise. 4th Street. A king of hearts. Still no help. For $1,200,000, a nervous Mrs. Seidel. The biggest pot in World Series history is riding on 5th Street. And a 4 clubs, and Seidel has done it. What a pot. Officially, $1,204,000. And Johnny Chan can't quite believe it. It took the wind out of his sails. It's a hand young Eric Seidel will long remember.
You have to stay on your toes because at any time, if you make one mistake, you're out of the tournament. If you push all your chips in at the wrong time, that's it. You're done. And in fact, that happens a lot. I think what happens is towards the last few days, there are a lot of people who really become affected by the pressure, and they want out. They'll put all their chips in a spot where they would never do that ordinarily in a normal game. But the pressure becomes very intense, I think.
With me now is Johnny Chan, the defending champion in this event, and Johnny, last year's win. What kind of pressure does that put on you this year?
There's no pressure. It's just a game. I play like this just in every tournament. I'm a little behind right now, so a couple more hands, we're going to even it up. So I just got to play the waiting game right now.
Are you surprised at the play of Eric Seidel? He's been very aggressive.
Absolutely. He plays good and real aggressive, and I just had to back off for now anyway. Maybe when I get hold of some chips, I'll be the aggressive one in the game.
The Railbirds love this matchup. The young New Yorker against the Oriental Express. Chan is staying calm. He's got to win a few small pots to get back into the running. They're both being very cautious. Remember, Eric has no experience at this level of play. Seidel calls the blind, and Chan chooses not to raise. Here comes the flop. Trips. 3 sixes. Chan's hand on the left. Ace-8, Seidel, King-10. Chan checks, and Seidel bets. Remember, the flop is 3 sixes. Chan calls. 4th Street. A 7 of spades. Johnny Chan has 4 spades. Good chance at a flush. Both players taking their time. They both check. Now 5th Street. A 4 of diamonds. Johnny Chan checks. Very conservative now. He's low on money. And they turn it over. Johnny has an ace high with 3 sixes against Eric Seidel's King-10. So Johnny wins the pot, and he's slowly chipping away at Eric's pile of chips. You can't count out the defending champ just yet.
With me, the 1978 winner of the World Series of Poker, and now currently the president of the Golden Nugget Hotel, Bobby Baldwin. And Bobby, it's really gone back and forth here, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. It's very close here in the end game. The money seems to be relatively balanced between Johnny and Eric.
Looked like Johnny Chan was almost out of it, down to a couple $100,000. He caught a 7 on 4th Street, and he's come back into it.
Well, that's the important thing with the game of Hold'em. You know, you're never down and out until your chips are all gone, and Johnny got down to $200,000, but he's playing very, very good, and he's now balanced the playing field somewhat with about 700,000 or 800,000.
As a former world champion, what about the strategy now that you're down to the final two?
Well, I think controlled aggression is very, very important when you're in a short-handed game, if you can have such a thing. But the most aggressive player in a two-handed game is probably the favored player at this point.
Queen 8-10 is the flop. Johnny Chan bets 40,000. Will Eric Seidel be aggressive again? You bet. He calls the 40, and he raises 50. So it's $50,000 to Chan to stay in this hand. The flop, Queen 8-10, once again. Johnny Chan will take his time, figuring out the odds for all possible combinations. Remember, 2 more cards to come, 4th Street and 5th Street. And Chan will put in the 50,000. So the pot is right. And now, as 4th Street comes up a 2 of spades, let's reveal the hole cards of both players. Johnny Chan, Jack 9, and Eric Seidel, Queen 7. Johnny Chan had a straight on the flop. Eric Seidel with a pair of queens. Eric Seidel cannot win this hand, and yet he doesn't know it. Chan is trying to sucker him in by taking his time. Oh, look at that look of the defending champ. And now 5th Street, a 6 of diamonds, no help. Johnny Chan has a queen high straight. Will Eric Seidel fall for the bait? Yes, he's going all in, and Chan has him. Johnny Chan, the master, turns over his card, and once again, Johnny Chan has done it. And for Eric Seidel, he can only look and wonder what might have been. Stay with us. We'll be back to talk with the champ and the runner-up right after this. It's a wild scene back here at Binion's. Everybody wants to congratulate Johnny Chan. Johnny Chan, congratulations. You were down to $200,000. What turned it around in your opinion?
He was playing a little fast and just keep trying to bluff his money off. So unfortunately, I just sit back and wait for a trap for him. And sure enough, he just bluffed all his money off to me.
Did you lay a trap for him?
Absolutely. That was my whole game plan anyway.
What about the feeling of winning this year as opposed to last year?
A lot better.
All right, congratulations, Johnny.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Johnny Chan retains his title.
And he's now in line to match Johnny Moss's record of 3 consecutive World Series wins. Let's talk to the runner-up.
Eric Seidel, he almost had Johnny knocked out, but he caught that 7 on 4th Street to make that straight. That turned it around for him.
Yeah, I was about an 11-10 favorite to win the tournament right there. And he hit the straight, you know, and then from there, I think just my inexperience showed up because he is the best player in the world, and he outplayed me.
Eric Seidel, no disgrace. He loses to Johnny Chan, but a terrific tournament.
So Johnny Chan, after losing the biggest pot in World Series history, rebounds to win the championship.
So that will do it from the 19th Annual World Series of Poker. Johnny Chan retains his title and wins $700,000. We hope you enjoyed it here on ESPN. From Binion's Horseshoe Hotel and Casino, I'm Chris Marlowe saying so long until next time.